So we're going to do the first activity, which is graph the sine function and the cosine function from the unit circle values. So what we need to do real quickly is create a unit circle. It's been a minute since we've seen it, so one out from the origin is 1, 0, and 1 up is 0, 1, and 1 to the left is negative 1, 0, and 1 to the bottom is 0, negative 1. And remember that we can label these in radians and in degrees. So I'm going to show you how to do it in degrees, and then we'll convert to radians so that you can see what it's like. What you want to make sure that you remember from doing our special case or our quadrantal angles is that this is 0 degrees and 360 degrees. This is a 90-degree angle. This is a 180-degree angle. This is a 270-degree angle. And what we need to remember, if you forgot, is that the sine, and we'll do that one in red, on the unit circle represents all of the y values. Okay, so we're looking for y coordinates on the unit circle. And that's going to give us our 5 really important values in order for us to plot. So starting out at the number of degrees, we're going to make a little XY chart, believe it or not. 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180, 270, and 360. And next to it, we're going to put our y equals sine x value. So when I do the sine of 0, remember I'm looking at y coordinates. That's going to be 0. And this is a height. At 90, the sine value is 1. At 180, the sine value is 0. At 270, the sine value is negative 1. And at 360, the sine value is back to 0. So this is how we get the values to actually plot. Now over here, we do a whole different kind of scaling for trig graphs. This starts at 0. This is our height. If you notice, our height goes from positive 1 to negative 1. That's like the highest and lowest it goes. So make this positive 1 and I'll make this negative 1. It's a little hazy. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can. Could be my eyes too. And basically what we're going to do is that, so that represents the height. And then across here will be the degrees. So y represents the heights. These are the heights. And then the x is the degrees. Now here's 0 degrees. And we'll go 90, 180, 270, and 360. And basically, they're all equidistant because they're all in 90-degree increments. So you want to make sure that you're doing that equidistant as far as the heights. Make sure that they are also, especially for a sketch. And now what we're going to do is actually plot. So at 0 degrees, we're at 0. So this is where sine starts. Sine starts on 0. And then at 90 degrees, it bumps all the way up to 1. So we're going to go all the way up to 1. Then at 180, it goes back to 0. At 270, it goes down to negative 1. And at 360, goes back to 0. And our sine is a curve. So you want to make sure that you know that you're making round waves. These are waves or sound waves, tidal waves. They're very rounded. There's no peaks and valleys as far as points go. So you have to make sure it's a smooth curve. And the sine of x graph is a sideways S. So you can kind of notice that. Okay, and that comes from the y coordinates on the unit circle. So sine function. Characteristics. Super important that you know this. First of all, you use the y coordinate from the unit circle. The second thing is it starts at 0. The third thing you need to notice is that it makes a sideways S. And it's definitely a smooth curve. Now what happens after this is, like this is one full rotation, right? This is just one lap around the circle. So if I wanted to go and do coterminal angles to make it 2 laps, then this would just repeat, which makes this periodic. So this would be like up, middle, down, middle. Then we would go up, middle, down, middle, and then up, middle, down, middle. And we can continue this forever. We can also go this way and go down, middle, up, middle, and continue it to the left as well. Okay, so this represents our sine. And in the next video, I'll be doing cosine.